If you found this message, then this message is for you. This is under the energy that's coming through of the Moon Maiden New Beginnings. This is a full moon, but I'm currently pulling this under the influence of the new moon, and this is 41, which reduces down to 5, which is change. So this tells me that there might be a reconciliation that might be coming in for you between you and another person. So let's see what we have. What's this new beginning? Can you tell us more, Spirit, about this new beginning? Messages. I feel like there's definitely a reconciliation, change coming. You will soon receive good news. It can come in the form of an email, text message, phone call, or a letter. I mean, I have a feeling it's probably going to be messenger, SMS, something like, it could be a phone call. It could be somebody actually showing up at your door too. I'm getting that feeling as well. Instinct. Trust and follow your instincts. There's no need to think it over or get another opinion. So this is your intuition, using your intuition, knowing that this is coming, having that insight and knowing, believing that this message is incoming, this reconciliation is incoming. Options. You have many options available to you. Take the time to take a wider look at your situation and explore the options. So this is telling me that when this message comes in for reconciliation, or whatever this message is for this new beginning, Spirit is saying to take your time and think about it, think it over, really think about it, and make sure it is something that you want for yourself. Because I feel like, my beautiful souls, you've done a lot of growth. You've done a lot of self work on yourself, that you are now in a different energy, a vibrational energy, and you have a lot of options that you may not see yet. They may not have come in. And that's what also that 5, that change, the new beginnings. I think that there's options coming in that you may not be aware of. So make sure that you use your intuition and make sure this message, whatever this opportunity that comes in, is something that you really, really want. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and we're going to start. I think we're going to go hearts, hidden secrets. Gosh, stuff coming out. Yeah, see, return of a twin flame. Return of a twin flame coming in. Oh my gosh, foundation. They're wanting to make things more stable. They're more secure. Maybe they have, they want to tell you about what they've healed or what they've changed. That they understand that they messed up, that they were confused, that they were giving you mixed signals, and they understand that. They've been spying on you. They've been, watching you since you've parted ways. They've been keeping tabs on you, making sure you don't get too far away, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, they realize you're their divine feminine. And whether that is, this can be it's not gender, it's an energy. So whether you're a male or a female, it's the energy you're embracing, that nurturing, loving, kind, generous spirit. They miss it. They miss that energy, boundaries. They know that you've drawn the line and that you have set boundaries for them. Yes, they do. Resistance. So this is, I am getting off of this that they have, up until this point, they have had resistance to this connection. They've been resisting it. Let's go ahead as I get everything going out here crazy like, because I have more cards that want to come out. So yeah, they've been resisting this, and they know that you've set up boundaries because they have been giving you mixed signals. They've been resisting this connection. because they were unhealed. They were unhealed. They didn't know what at the time they didn't realize what they were doing because they were unhealed. They were just going about businesses as usual, and now they're wanting a second chance. They're wanting to make amends and make things right because they feel like they've made some changes, and they think they can be a better person for you now. Yeah, they realized they were distorted. They were distorted masculine. They were unbalanced. They were clouded by a lot of illusions, and now they're hoping and manifesting, hoping for this reunion, hoping that you won't reject them, hoping that you'll still be that kind, nurturing, loving soul, that you'll forgive them and that you'll give them another chance because they're really desperate to have another chance, because they still have a lot of desire for you, a lot of attraction and desire there. They still have a lot of desire. But here's the thing. They're worried. They're very worried about what they've done. And this doesn't necessarily have to be hurtful words. Maybe for some of you they have said hurtful words, but I feel like they regret being angry and bitter at you for setting those boundaries with them. And they had to get over that. They had to realize, it took them a minute to realize that you needed to do that you were just protecting yourself, that you weren't out to get them. You weren't trying to be the bad guy. You just were trying to protect yourself because of the way they had been treating you. Because look at this. This is that divine feminine energy. They realize, how forgiving, how kind you were, how compassionate you were, how kind you were to them. And they're starting to realize, since you've been gone, that they're missing that energy. They're missing how kind and wonderful and loving that you were to them, that you always had their best interest at heart. And they're realizing that they made a mistake. Yeah, see, missing you. They're really, really missing you a lot. They definitely are. And they're in a lot of pain. And there's those realizations. We'll get one more spirit. And they're exhausted. Okay. So that's what wants to come out for that deck. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do... Nope, we're not. We're going to do tarot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pull some tarot. And then we'll get into shadow love messages and hidden truth oracle messages. So tarot, please. We'll go ahead and clean these up a little bit so we have more space. Put those over to the side. I'm going to leave that exhaustion there because they're definitely exhausted. You might be feeling some of their exhaustion. They are feeling very drained and depleted right now. So you might be picking up on that, with that, if your intuition is heightened. 9 of Pentacles, yeah. So they're seeing your independence, and that is really worrying them. That's that minor Empress energy. And yeah, so they want to work on this. They do want to work on this with you. They're worried that you won't work with them. Yeah, because you've turned your back on them. So they're a little bit afraid that you may not work with them. Yeah, but they do want this new beginning. They want this new start. They want that Ace of Cups. They want to come in and give you their cup, give you their love. For sure. Because they desire you. They know that you're just this, it's like a moth to the flame is what I'm getting. It's like, yeah. But they have a lot of anxiety because they know they've wronged you. They know they've hurt you. They know that they've done you wrong, but they can't help but keep getting drawn towards you and your energy. You're just, I'm getting a very swan, graceful presence, like a white swan. It's just like but there's all this light and energy, this angel. Look at her. She looks almost like an angel, this angel-like quality. They can't get enough of it. They keep getting drawn to it, like I said, like a moth to the flame, because their darkness, look at this darkness on this card. They didn't like, one of the things that was the problem here is that your light shone so brightly on, see how that light's coming in on their shadows, on their darkness, and it triggered them because they didn't want to come out into the light. They wanted to stay in their dark little cave. And so I think for a lot of you, they probably, we had the flame card come out. They were running from you. And they weren't running from you. Let me put that straight. They were not running from you. They were running from themselves and the work that they knew they would need to do, because your light shined so brightly and just spotlighted the things that they needed to work on, that they had ignored, and that triggered them, and it made them run. And it has nothing to do with you. You were just your beautiful, wonderful self, but they didn't want to do the work. They were scared of doing the work, so they ran and hid. They ran, and now they're sitting in so much regret and so much anxiety and so much fear, because they know they've screwed up and they don't know how to fix things. They don't know if they can fix things, and they're so sad and they're so exhausted and so depleted, because this has been such a hard journey for them, because and this card came out, the resistance. There was something about the resistance. Where was it? Yeah, the resistance, because they were so resistant. Every time they kept resisting this connection and resisting you, they were only in turn resisting doing the work on themselves. And that's what has made them exhausted, okay? That's what's made them exhausted, is the fact that they kept resisting doing the work. Every time they came into contact with you, all you did was shine a light again on what needed to be fixed, what needed to be worked on. And every time they didn't want to do the work, they ran, because they were afraid of what that meant, the growth, the change. They were afraid of the change, the 415, the new beginning, the change. They were afraid of changing, and they were afraid of change. And that fear is what made them run. They're afraid of that change, what it meant for their life and what it meant for them. Yeah, the Hierophant, because they didn't want to give you this commitment. They were afraid of standing in their true, authenticity and coming correct and giving you the commitment that they knew that you deserved. They knew that you deserved a lot, because you were this beautiful, wonderful angel in their life, and they knew that you had high standards, and they knew that you had high morals and integrity, and they knew that they would have to come correctly. They would have to, this is a card of not only like values and morals and commitment, integrity, but it's also commitment, being committed to doing the right thing, and they were afraid of doing that. They were genuinely afraid of that. So yeah, because you were their star. You were their star. You were bringing them to a higher purpose, to a higher place, a higher vibration, and they were scared of that. They were scared of growing. They were scared of becoming that butterfly. They were cocooned in their little, they were this little caterpillar cocoon. Look at her. She's like all like she's been just enclosed in that little ball there, thimble ball, whatever that's supposed to be. But it looks like she's been, and look, she's got angel wings. Look at that. She's ready to morph into the angel. They were afraid of becoming their true authentic self, of standing in their power, of becoming the angel that they needed to grow into, the butterfly. They were afraid of the change. They were afraid of their destiny. They were afraid of it because you showed them that fear, and and so that's been a very hard lesson for them to digest, and they're starting to realize that they have to change, that they need to change, and they have to change. They're really starting to realize that. So let's go ahead and get into our shadow love here and get a shadow love message. Yeah, they're really, really noticing that big time. Guilty. There's lying and cheating going on, maybe both. It may take a confrontation to come clean, and this is part of what they're realizing and they're thinking about. This is that Nine of Swords energy, that anxiety, because they know they've wronged you. They know they have to be accountable for their actions. They have to be accountable for what they did, and that terrifies the crap out of them. It really does. It scares them, and they're afraid of that. They're afraid of it, and that, the constant battle that's going on, that they're waging in their head of, should I know I need to grow, but I'm resisting growing. I know that I've done these things. I know I shouldn't have behaved in this way, but I did, and now I feel guilty. Now I feel regret. Now I feel this constant battle that they've waged in their own head over this connection has left them very depleted and very exhausted, and they just not, like they're about to break. And that's a good thing, because when you get to the breaking point, that's when the awakening happens. That's when you get in that dark night of the soul, and that breaking point happens, and there's nowhere else to go but up. That's where you're going to go. Okay. So they're almost to that breaking point. That's why this change is starting to come, because they're so exhausted that they're almost at that breaking point where they have to give in, and they have to just give up and do the work they know they're going to need to do, that they've been putting off. They can't resist it any longer. They're too depleted from trying to resist it. Fierce, you act aggressive, but you are just protecting yourself. Soften your heart so that you can feel again. This is exactly everything that I was saying. They've been trying to protect themselves. They've been fighting and resisting change, resisting opening their heart up to love, to commitment. They were afraid of so many things. The rabbit hole. Crazy drama makes for wild adventures, but not peace. How far are you willing to go? Yeah, and so I really feel like I'm getting a mirror vibration, like that they're really going down the rabbit hole and realizing, like, every action that they did and how that caused drama between you and them. Like every action there, every, like they're really seeing the consequences of the actions, like every choice they made, and how that played out for them, all the drama that they caused between you and them, and they're really seeing that now. They were avoiding it and distracting themselves or whatever before. They were ignoring it. They were distracting themselves with other partners, other things, work, whatever, so that they wouldn't think about it. Because they didn't want to do that work. They didn't want to change. And because they didn't want to change and they didn't want to do the work, they were distracting themselves in any way that they could find to do that, to, not look at this, not look at what they were doing. They didn't want to see what they were doing. They didn't want to know. They wanted to ignore it. And now they're finally having to face, now that they feel they've lost you, they realize that to make things right, man, they've got a long way to go. And that terrifies them. That really is causing them those sleepless nights. So let's finish this off. We're going to finish this off with some final messages. What final messages do we have from your person? What do they want to say? What do they want to tell you right now, if they could? I feel you even though we're apart. We both know I'm not the one for you. This is their doubt. This is because they realize everything that they have done, all the trouble they have caused, and they realize that you're that angel, that you're that light, and they just don't feel good enough. They don't feel good enough. They don't feel like they deserve the love that you have given them, the forgiveness, the kindness, compassion you have given them, faced with everything that they have done, everything that they have done to you. I lost myself for a little while. Yeah, they've been lost, but now they're found. They're finding themselves again, slowly. They're not there yet, but they're finding themselves. They're starting to find themselves again. I don't react when people mention you. This is this is true in a sense because they don't want people to know. They're guarded. They don't want people to know how this has made them feel. They're keeping all this in. I mean, even though, they're just as they're closed off with you, they're closed off to other people as well because they can't they don't trust anyone to share what they feel. And they don't know what reaction they're going to get, especially because they've probably said or done things, they probably said things about you to other people possibly that, that might, cause them to say something they don't want to hear, tell them something they don't want to hear. So they try to pretend like there's nothing wrong, like this isn't bothering them, that they could just go on and live their life, but they can't. They can't do that. I want you. You don't know how hard it was to let you go. Well, they haven't let you go. They didn't let you go. Um, they that's kind of that's a little bit of their ego thinking that they were, well, actually, I guess in this moment I'm picking up that they realize, they in the moment they have realized that they lost you, that they're realizing now how hard it is to let you go. That they don't want to. They're afraid of letting go. They don't want to. They know they may have to, and that's what's triggering this response, triggering them to do the work because they are afraid of losing you. They're really afraid of losing you. They don't know how to let you go, and that frightens them. It's time for me to heal now. That's where I'm going to leave this. It is time. It's time for me to heal now. And that's part of it. They know they have to let you go. And that's what's hard on them, is they know they should. They know their intuition. If we go back to their intuition, our intuition card, even that was for mostly for you, but they have to get in their intuition too. And I think that's what their intuition is telling them. It's time for them to heal. It's time for them to do the work. It's time for them to heal the stuff inside of them. And they know to do that, they have to do the inner work. That means they need time alone. They need time to heal this, that Four of Swords energy. They need time. And so they're afraid because you're sitting in this very independent energy. Where was that? The Nine of, where we started off the reading with the Nine of Pentacles. They know you're sitting in this very independent energy, and they're very, very afraid they may lose you. And I feel like that's why there may be communication that's coming in. I feel like, to see where you stand, to see if you're truly gone, if you're going to wait for them, if you're still there for them, if you're going to wait for them and to take this time to heal, if you're going to still be around and waiting for them. They're really afraid that you'll be gone because they've taken too long. They stalled things so long in this relationship. They fought resisted healing for so long that now they think so much time's passed that you've given up. And now that they feel like you've given up, now they're very afraid that they may lose you, because they know they have to let you go in order to heal. They have to let you go so that they can heal. And that terrifies them. There's that, that's that anxiety of the Nine of Swords that absolutely terrifies them. So we're going to leave this here on this. It's time for me to heal now. I think that's the end note for this message. So thank you so much. I wish you the very best. Joy, love, and light.